Live. We're back. Brendan's back.
But more importantly, can you hear me?
Now I can actually hear you.
Are we
You're
sure?
you're healthy. I can
Yes.
hear you.
I'm not shooting NyQuil.
We're back. People of the internet, it's Thirsty Thursday. We're actually live this time.
We think.
It's going to be a short one. There's a really important game here in a few minutes, so we're jumping on here, talking some shit, doing some shots, and yeah, how you doing?
I'm okay. I just woke up.
You just woke up?
Yeah. I fell asleep. I like my naps. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at our. Oh, it's a message from us that we're live.
Yeah.
Exciting. I went hiking today. I found a new hiking spot, and I went
Ew.
hiking.
Ew.
Ew, what?
Ew. I don't hike. I open beers.
You don't hike, you open beers. What beer are you drinking?
This is from Sonder Brewing in Cincinnati, Ohio. This is their. Oh, you gonna foam over? This is their vanilla porter. It's called Broby.
Nice.
It's that time of year, you know. Halloween's past, Thanksgiving's coming up. It's porter season. It's stout season. I'm starting to get into my dark beer drinking phrase. Drinking phase. I almost said phrase.
Yes.
We
I
drink.
love an oatmeal stout. I love porters. Not too coffee. I'm more on the chocolatey type side, but like what was the Raven from New Holland? That's a
What's an oatmeal
oatmeal
stout?
stout. Yeah, that's one
Poet.
of my favorite. Poet.
Not the
That's what it
Raven.
was.
Poet.
Poet. But yeah, it's got the Raven on the. You knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's a great oatmeal stout.
Wonderful beer.
Fantastic beer.
New Holland is one of those breweries where their stuff's a little higher ABV. It's a little bit more intense.
Yep.
You've got to like beery beer to drink
Beery
stuff
beer.
from New Holland. Like
Yeah.
whatever the category of beer is, it's going to be a very deep representation of that category. Is that a Mountain Dew?
It's a Mountain Dew.
Okay.
I'm anticipating the shots that I may have in front of me, so I'm gonna need something to baby it up a little
I've got
bit.
a shot,
I actually
too.
don't have a beer. Do you really?
Yeah. Do you want to do a shot?
Oh, I left my tequila across the room. We'll get that at some point.
What do you got?
Um, Little bottles,
Ooh, little bottle. I got a big bottle.
clear colored, amber.
Am I picking?
Yeah,
Ooh,
this one's interesting. I don't.
clear.
Yeah, because you know what this is? I don't know.
Hand sanitizer.
That'd be a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. The brewery I worked for, Northern Row Brewery, during COVID, converted their distilling operations into hand sanitizer, and the name of their sanitizer was should have been bourbon hand sanitizer.
That was the really intense thing about throughout COVID is all the hand sanitizer was basically vodka.
Yeah.
They made so much of it, and distilleries made so much that when I would go in, and the biggest culprit was Old Navy. They're like, they got good clothes, good basics. You know, you want pants, you want a sweater, a button up, basic shirt with no print on it. Not like this fine gear here from Homage here in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Are we sponsored by Homage now?
We're working on it. No, we're not, but call me. So when you go to Old Navy, they would have the most intense one possible. It was made by Old Forester, and you squirt it just straight up. I think it was just leftover Wheatley vodka.
I can see that.
No, it's
Old
Buffalo
Forester,
Trace.
big
I got
fun,
them switched.
yeah. Well, what I have here, I'm not sure because it's truly 99 mystery flavor,
Oh no!
and it's scratch and sniff.
What is this? 1993? It has a scratch and sniff on it.
This might be from 93. I don't
You
know.
gotta
what's
scratch that bad boy.
I don't really have nails. Let's see what happens.
Ooh, that's good quality scratching ASMR.
It smells like a liquor bottle.
Smells like a liquor bottle. What does that mean?
I don't know. It smells like nothing.
Smells like
Wait,
nothing.
was I supposed to peel it? Oh, I don't know.
So you've got a mystery bottle. I
I've
have
got a mystery.
a very clearly labeled bottle.
Okay.
So I went to go for something that would
Looks like whiskey.
make you go, what?
Uh-oh.
This is Curveball. Are you familiar with Curveball?
I am not.
So there's Fireball, which is
Okay.
cinnamon. Screwball, which is
Orange?
no
I was thinking of a screwdriver.
peanut butter.
Ooh,
That's the peanut butter
interesting.
whiskey. This is Curveball. Curveball is barbecue whiskey.
Barbecue. I'm excited by this.
Curveball, the original barbecue whiskey. Throw it back. This is their slogan's "Throw it back." This
I
is
bet it's nice and smoky.
68 proof. This is the slogan is "We can't get enough barbecue. If Pitmasters didn't sell out, we'd eat it morning, noon, and night to satisfy our appetite." Ooh, that rhymes.
That's
We put the barbecue behind the bar. Savory, sweet, smoky heat meets American whiskey. So yeah, barbecue whiskey. And you have mystery
I
liquor.
do. I'm placing bets. Sorry.
You're placing bets. Would you
Yeah.
place a bet on?
Right now that Florian Balogun will be the goal scorer in the USA game
I thought that was
tonight.
a Star Wars thing you were about to talk about. Florian Belugia.
Balogun.
You said Belugia.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were saying Belugia there.
Got
For
the
a moment.
USA scarf for tonight and a little bit of that's what we're waiting for.
The
It's gonna be
Bengals,
a tough
baby.
one.
It's we've got the Cincinnati Bengals have the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is going
In
to
Baltimore.
do that goddamn thing he always does. He's gonna run. He's gonna run the ball. You're gonna
But do you
he's gonna
think
throw
he's
and
got-
he's gonna run.
Do you think he's got 200 yards in him throwing?
Throwing? You took him for 200 yards?
Yeah, I did.
You got that. I took him for 1 point for over 1.5 touchdowns.
I took Joe for over 1.5 touchdowns.
I got
and
them
took
both for
Joe
1.5
for
touchdowns.
200.
We
I
will.
have a really. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we'll go through our bets here in a moment.
Oh
but you've
God,
got
that's
mystery
not
vodka.
good. Oh, bro, I think
have-
it's peanut butter.
This is the my
Ooh, or
my
it's chocolate.
This is my wife's "Show Me Your Kitties" shot glass.
That's cute.
This is
He'll probably show up at some point.
Curveball barbecue whiskey, and you've got mystery liquor.
I'm gonna tell you. I think it's chocolate.
All right, let's go for it.
And
One,
I don't like chocolate,
two.
bro.
Cheers.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh, it was the word. Oh,
oh! It's sweet. Oh, it's sugary.
it was fucking chocolate. Oh, it's so bad. I'm not a fan of chocolate.
Oh, I feel like I just drank a rib.
Really? God, well, this show is just us torturing ourselves with alcohol we do not end up enjoying.
I feel like I want to. Can I chase that with coleslaw?
Oh,
Oh man, so all right, that goes over there.
Jesus.
Not bad, interesting flavor, a little sweeter than I like my whiskey to be, but I guess when you're doing barbecue, you need to do a little sweetness in there, and so whatever. But
oh,
So-
that's like, oh,
was
it's
chocolate?
chocolate and dirt.
have you had? Is it tamarindo? The Smirnoff tamarind, like there's tamarind flavored Smirnoff now.
No.
It's
Why would
interesting.
I?
People put it in like margaritas and stuff, or in like Mexican cocktails. I am not a fan of tamarind. It's not a flavor I enjoy, so I don't need a tamarind flavored liquor. But
This is my mom leaning into the podcast, and she sees these little bottles sitting around, and she's like, "Oh, she was at one of these liquor stores and picked up a bunch of these." I feel like she did this on purpose. Like,
you all right?
it's really bad, bro. Like,
Oh.
I just burped and it tastes terrible. Like, oh, I mean, mystery flavor could have been anything. And I'm sitting here thinking like an Airhead when you get the white. Oh God, it's so bad. It's making me.
You might lose him, folks.
Oh, it's so bad.
This is I don't think I've ever seen
Like I did an alcoholic Kit Kat that has gone old and bad. Like, oh, it's nasty.
my mouth just tastes like I licked the smoked pork butt.
An
No,
alcoholic
smoked pork butt is delicious,
That's not terrible.
but it's just it is a little sweeter than I like my liquor or my barbecue.
In a moment, you're gonna find a moment to tell a story where I can get over there to that bottle of tequila or did I leave it in here? Nope, it's not in the liquor globe.
well, tell you what we
currently.
can do right now. We'll go ahead and talk about our bets.
Oh no!
I'm gonna pull mine up first. I'm gonna take my bets.
What was your
tonight.
last win?
What was
Has it
my
been a
last
minute?
win? When Jesus, let me tell you a long story here, buddy. Actually,
Oh, no.
my last win was a series of 3 wins in a row that put me $275 up right before I
nice.
went to St. Louis to go see Metallica. So I had like an extra almost $300 more than I had before I made
Nice.
these bets to go on.
Mine went to pulling out the electric bill, but hey,
Hey,
It worked.
it is what it
I
is.
mean, that's good. But last night I actually hit again, and it was on NBA of all things.
I've been trying a little bit of NBA here and there. If you get every once in a while, like right now, I've got both games. I've got like 4 players chosen that will get like 1.5 steals. If they get over 1.5 steals, it does a pretty good thing.
I don't know that much with NBA anymore, but I play based on specific players.
Yeah.
Like I know Kentucky players from back in the day. So last night I had a parlay that was Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker to do multiple things and wove in some Kevin Durant, and everybody got their rebounds and points, and 5 paid back 29. So I felt like, okay, we're kind of back in the money there. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens tonight because now you're trying a new app.
I've pulled out of everything, and ESPN went live with their betting app.
Wait, you pulled out of everything except this one?
Yes, I'm in one app at a time.
That's my problem right now.
I work with one app at a time. I did a weekend last week where I did FanDuel and Bet365 at the same time because I had a free bet.
I'm back in FanDuel tonight. That's where I put some money, and then I've got Bets 365 bets that are riding currently.
I moved over to ESPN Bet, which just launched a couple days ago. It's the new version of the Barstool betting sportsbook. I found out it's Barstool.
Yeah.
So
I tried to sign up for it, took a picture of my license, and then they told me that my license was expired. So that's where I spent today, was at the DMV, because I didn't realize my license was expired.
that's a whole episode in and of itself. I bet going to the goddamn DMV.
The key is get there early and try to race people to the door to begin the line before it opens.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did. I was number 2 in line, but apparently there's people who make appointments. So a couple people got ahead of me because they made appointments, but still, it wasn't terrible, but it tells me that I don't pay attention to my license unless there's $200 in free bets on the line, apparently,
right?
Because that's when I noticed that my license was expired, was that I wanted to get those free bets,
And
which
that's
I
the
still haven't
problem
gotten yet. They're going to mail me my ID.
I'll try your betting app for the free bets.
Yeah.
I'm the one I will probably not go anywhere near is Better. BETR.
I don't know what that one is.
It's owned by Jake Paul.
Is it really?
And that's not anything against Jake Paul, but it seems like the one that Underdog and Prize Picks kind of seem like the ones that I don't know if I want to trust them with my personal information.
Yeah.
Or my
Prize
bank
Picks
account
is more like a
information.
fantasy thing, right?
I think it might be more in the the DraftKings fantasy style of betting.
Yeah.
ESPN's a little bit different than that as well, because you don't always get the same style of like.
Yeah, what are you noticing
parlay
immediately that would be
boosts.
your difference in ESPN, you think? Is
It's
there anything good? Is there anything...
The interface it needs the most work. I'll say
Okay.
that out of all the apps I've tried, it needs the most work on the interface.
That would drive me nuts.
The fact that it's ESPN, the boosts and bonuses and specials that they give you are a little bit more dialed in. Like I noticed one of the ones that I was able to pick up was, let me find that. So Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow to combine for 500 plus passing yards and 4 plus passing touchdowns. That's not bad. Between the two of them, 500 yards, and between the two of them, over 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
As much as I want the Bengals to win, Lamar's good for 2 touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Lamar himself, you think he's going to run 2 in?
I think he's good for at least 2 passing touchdowns. And I see him trying to run with at least 1 in himself. But what I did notice, of course, they give you the free bets. It's $200 in free bets that you have to do in 50s. So you essentially just get 4 free bets. But each bet is $50.
But I think there was another 50 you'll get later on. Like I thought it was 250, and then they would give you another one later. But we'll see.
Possibly, but they give you pretty good odds. I don't know if these odds are right now because it's new.
Yeah.
Case in point, the basketball bet that I saw. Nick Claxton, Bam Adebayo, Mikal Bridges, Duncan Robinson, and Cameron Johnson. Each one he has to get 1.5 blocks and 1.5 3-pointers.
I knew one of their names.
If all of that happens, I just look at stats. If all of that happens, it's got a plus 6,000 odd.
That's nice.
$2 turns into 122.
Yeah, that's worth a $2 bet. I'm in on my big parlay for the night of because there'll always be something kind of normal. Like my normal is I just said I took the over of 46 points in the Bengals Raven game.
Yeah.
I took the over. That's one bet. Then my shenanigan bet over 40 points in the game, 17 points at least for the Bengals, 17 points at least for the Ravens, Burrow over 257 yards, Burrow 25 completions, Burrow 2 touchdowns, Burrow 13 rushing yards, Mixon 13 rushing attempts, Gus Edwards 25 yards, Gus Edwards a touchdown.
Everybody's taking that Gus Edwards. That's what I got too.
He's on my fantasy team. I've seen him scoring, and also I said there'll be 4 sacks in this game, and there'll be a score in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Because I have realized that hits a lot, so it's a nice little extra to put on. Score at the end of the first half usually hits. I don't think I've seen it not.
ESPN gives you a lot more sack options too. I know.
Oh, really?
That. You could actually pick specific sacks, amount of sacks, how many sacks in a quarter. So I've got Gus Edwards as well in my parlay. I've got Gus Edwards to score a touchdown, Jamar Chase to score a touchdown, Joe Burrow for 1.5 over 1.5 total passing touchdowns.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson for over 1.5 total passing touchdowns. That's got a plus 1124 odd. I put a $50 bonus bet on it that pays $562.
Jeez,
if it hits.
Nice.
That's the thing. Like with I'll be careless. With
those $50 bonus bets.
Yeah,
that's why I'm trying to get in there.
I'm like, let's turn that into real money, and that's the thing.
Apparently, the DMV doesn't print your license out anymore immediately, so I have to wait until they send me one in the mail. I mean,
I might get real ID.
No.
No, you didn't get real ID. I did when I got mine redone this year.
I'm gonna get one eventually.
For those of you that don't know, in Kentucky now.
Yeah, explain that. I'm getting tequila.
The ID isn't good for flying. It wasn't. Unless you get what's now called a real ID. You basically have to pay extra money and get an upgraded ID or driver's license that has a little thing on it that says real ID. Now, that's great. My wife loves Milagro. That's all well and good. Now, I understand the idea of needing the real ID to get on the plane, but the problem with not having if you have the other ID, your ID is going to say on it, not a real ID.
Which sounds crazy.
Because the brand of the card is real ID. So yours is going to say, not a real ID. I wonder if that's ever caused problems, or if that's going to cause problems for anybody moving forward.
We will see.
We'll see. Yeah, we 100% will see. So,
how do you feel the game's going to go if you were going money line tonight? You feel confident in the Bengals? In Baltimore on a short week? I mean, well, both teams have a short week, but
we just got our asses handed to us by the Texans. We lost to a team that we shouldn't have lost to. I don't give a shit what you say about CJ Stroud. He's great, but he's the
better
only
than I thought
great
he was going to
player
be
on that team.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith is okay at the tight end. I believe it's pronounced Jonnu. My apologies if I mispronounced the first name. But Smith, their tight end, fantastic. He's on my fantasy team. CJ Stroud, he's okay. He's a little overrated. Yeah. Actually, I think Jonnu Smith might be on Atlanta. I need to take that back. I think I have the wrong football player in my head. Anyway, we shouldn't have lost to the Texans. So we shouldn't have lost to the Texans. And
this guy doesn't know who's on his fantasy team. That's why he's in.
No, I know Smith's on my fantasy. That's why I'm in last place in the league altogether. Your boy is bringing up the ass of this league, sir. I started the league to lose.
Why didn't we come up with like one of those fun losers prizes?
We still can.
Yeah, I wonder.
So
you got time to turn it around and not be the worst.
I still do, and so do the Bengals. But we've got to make sure we make stuff happen tonight.
They've started their last 2 seasons this way. And
exactly.
You've seen the way I mean, that's why I'm still confident in the future that I put down for them to win the division a few weeks back. And this is what they've done the last few years is they start slow and then they get it together when it's time. So who knows? Maybe each year they make it a little bit further. Maybe this year we're back Super Bowl. We'll see.
I think it's we still can turn this around. We still can choke the life out of this season.
Yeah.
We still can pull a Draymond Green.
I saw that picture.
Season. Did you see him yoke that dude up and choke that dude and drag him halfway across the fucking court?
He's got solid fundamentals. He's got a great rear naked choke.
He put it around the neck and he locked the other arm right at the wrist to put that triangle around the guy's throat.
Solid fundamentals.
Samoa Joe called it out. Samoa
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
even acknowledged it and said, "Let Draymond live.
Yeah,
Let
right.
Draymond live." And I agree. Let Draymond live because
Well, you've seen it going on recently
he
with.
choked
Did you
him.
see? Did you see the? Who was it? Oh, I can't think of his name right now. But did the DX like suck it?
Somebody did the DX chop a couple weeks ago. The NBA is turning into pro wrestling.
It was somebody in Philadelphia, and they got fined for it. And then Triple H said, "Hey, you can come do that at WrestleMania all you want next year," and gave the guy an invite to WrestleMania. And I'm sure we will see that player show up at
I mean,
WrestleMania.
the track record of celebrities right now translating well into WWE is
Logan
fantastic.
Paul. Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Oh yeah, Bad
Bad
Bunny's
Bunny was incredible, dude.
unbelievable.
I'll back that up. That dude fucking
Yeah.
understood how wrestling
Oh
works.
yeah,
He
100%.
put the work in and he did a good job.
Bad Bunny and Logan Paul might be the two best. Pat McAfee's another great
Pat McAfee,
shout too.
fantastic.
They're great with their celebrity who they bring in.
I feel like they got burned so many times in the past. It's
Oh.
probably a much tighter
Yeah,
scenario because you've had everything from Mr. T
Pete
to
Rose.
Pete Rose, which
Pete was great in the chicken outfit.
Peaches took tombstones from Kane.
Yeah, they had Jerry Springer at one point. They've had some interesting. I
Who
forgot there were.
would have ever thought that out of that Kane Pete Rose thing, that Pete would end up being the less piece of shit? I never thought looking at Kane and Pete Rose, I'd be like, you know what? Out of the two of you, Pete Rose is going to end up being the fucking saint.
Yeah, Pee Wee back in the day, I remember was on there and he drove some people nuts. Mm-hmm. Johnny Knoxville drove some people nuts. Corny specifically.
Pee Wee, Wee Man.
Wee Man. Well,
Did you call him Pee Wee?
no, I meant Pee Wee Herman actually back in the day.
Oh,
was on
I
there
thought
as
you meant
well
Wee Man
before
from.
he-
I thought you the same way I got my player's team wrong. I
No,
thought
no.
you called Wee Man Pee Wee, and I was like, oh man, we just got to delete this whole episode now.
If there's anything with my immaturity, I know Pee Wee Herman and Wee Man.
I was thinking about this the other day because I actually watched Jackass a couple nights ago.
The
no
newest
one will
one?
no old season
okay.
original show like season
I still
2.
have CKY DVDs.
No one will ever tell. Like, and here's the thing: they even put the disclaimer in the beginning of that show, where it's like this show was created in time with different morals and social standards and all of that stuff. I don't think we can. I don't think there's any reason to look at that show and be like, "Oh, that's terrible." Like, yeah, it's a bunch of dudes in 1997 being assholes to each other. It's pretty. Yeah, you're right. It's terrible.
Jackass Forever was actually pretty funny. It had
Fantastic.
some moments.
I'll
Had
watch
some good
everything they
moments.
do.
Yeah.
So we got about one more minute before we call
We
it
do?
out of here because we're gonna this game. They kick off in five minutes after that.
Excuse me, I didn't
gotta
get
get
mute in
this in.
time.
Brendan
Oh.
sneezing in your fucking face. So
I almost hit
He
mute.
got sick and missed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then we have all this stuff happen, and then he blows your ears out with a sneeze. So
And we go live last week, and you can't hear a thing from
can't hear a
us.
goddamn thing.
Really hoping it worked this week.
Hopefully.
So what's your bet you're most confident in tonight? Is there one
So-
you're most confident in?
Here's the thing that I'm gonna put down, and this is gonna be my if we're saying like what is my bet of the night, I'm going with. Let me find it.
I took this one on FanDuel that's actually, I'm not one to take their preset parlays. I usually don't like that. But for the hell of it, at plus 2809, I took Jamar Chase, Gus Edwards, Joe Mixon, and Lamar Jackson to score.
Okay. See, I'm going to go with my original bet I talked about. I feel super confident in Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow to combine for 500 plus passing yards and 4+ touchdowns passing.
That'll be interesting. I mean, now that's combined, so Joe
Combined.
could get 3 of them.
Joe can get one. Like, Joe can get
No,
one. I don't want him to
yeah,
get one. I want him to get 4.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he can get
No, I
one.
see.
Lamar can get 4, and we're good.
I'm with you.
So.
Well, we need to talk about some wrestling again soon because I've also realized a couple things this week. Jay White might have one of the best promos in the business. He might be my new favorite promo.
He's my
I
new
don't
favorite
know.
person he's my second favorite person in the ring when he's standing next to Juice Robinson.
I know you like Juice Robinson a lot.
I love me some Juice Robinson.
I've realized that Jay White, just the way he delivers his promos, he is so, it's refined and it's bad. I don't know. I
Just
really
yells
enjoy
too
it.
much for me.
He doesn't yell.
He yells. Everything he does is a yell. Every time I come out to you, you're gonna breathe with the switchblade, and you're gonna do. All he does is yell.
He doesn't yell and he's not falsetto.
He's pretty falsetto. Jay White, next week.
No, he's
I'm
not. Will
talking about you.
Ospreay is one of the best in the world. Jay White's one of my favorite promos. Top five for me. Two of my top five wrestlers right now. That's what we should do. Let's come up with our top five wrestlers for next week that are currently wrestling, in
Book
our
it.
opinions.
Top 5
That'll be
wrestlers
one
right
thing.
now, next
Current,
week.
any company, top five.
Anybody's game.
Take our five.
All right. So, once
You and my
again,
five.
this has been Thirsty Thursday. I'm
A
Mike.
shortened version. Go Bengals. Who Day. I'm Brendan.
Once again, Who Day, Thursday Night Football is in about 4 minutes. The kickoff is happening. Bengals, Ravens. Hopefully we do the thing. We'll see you guys next week. Once again, this has been Thirsty Thursdays.
Maybe if we win really well, we could
I
just
messed
come
up
in
the
later.
outro line.
You really did. Maybe if we win though tonight, a really good bet, we could just come in later and scream about how happy we are.
That's the thing. And if you're sitting there saying like, "Oh man, you guys just only did a 25-minute episode," it's free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll do more next week.
we'll do better.
Because now we know the audio is gonna work.
Now it's come through.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hear my sneezes.